I think it's going to work. I feel good. Alright. I'm not seeing a picture on there yet. There it is. Hey, look at that. It works. What are you going to do? Rub your eye. That's what you do. You rub your eye. Okay, hi. Welcome to the first episode of No One Wants to Hear Your Podcast. No one wants to hear my podcast. Alright, so I've got work on my plate right now. I got a bunch of projects on the go. And so I am going to adjust my camera. And yeah, that's a little better. That's a little better. Alright, get this flip-flop out of the way. We're going to do some of the stuff that I've got going on. Hey, look, that's our quick drawing that we did for our little logo thing here. Notes. This is a page from the upcoming Elmwood number 12. And so we'll be showing some more of that as time goes on. And these are panels. These are images that are going to go into panels for a project that I've got coming up soon. Doodle. Just a doodle. Just not a pen. And paper. Ooh, paper, Chris? That's right. It's paper. Okay, so, yeah, let me shift that a little bit there. There we go. That's great. I love it so much. All right, yeah, that's it. I'm going to draw for a few minutes. If, you know, it's going to happen that anybody clocks in and joins us for a moment, that's fantastic. Otherwise, you know, just going to plug away for a few minutes and make a little video here. But here's our objective. I just want to talk about a couple of things. I have been doing one-page comics on Instagram and, you know, soliciting ideas from people. Hey, if you got an idea for a one-page story, let me know. I don't care what it is. I'll draw it. And that's been a lot of fun for me. And I think for other people too. Because you get to say whatever wacky idea comes in your head, and I have to draw that. Draw a monkey. And that's fine. So, but we are at the point now where I've got other upcoming book projects coming out, and sharp. And some different avenues that I'm pursuing. What we're going to be doing is putting all of those one-page comics on our Patreon. We were going to do a Kickstarter launch, but, you know, I did all the promo in advance and all that jazz and promoting it, but it was just, maybe it was time, maybe it was whatever the reasons were behind it. Maybe it was because Kickstarter says they have a whole bunch of backers that sit there ready to back books, but they don't actually do that. It's who you bring to it. Anyways, the Kickstarter thing isn't happening, so I'm just putting it up on our website there at Runciman Press at Squaresite. So if you want to go check us out, great. And advance order one because they're coming out in March. So anybody wants a copy, we'll get you one. But in the meantime, I've got a number of other projects that I'm working on, including something for a book about SCPs, which is really exciting to me, because SCPs are fun little short stories, sort of, they're on the interwebs in a number of different forms, and I'm just looking for a white pencil, and we're going to get cracking.
Why didn't you have a white pencil before you started talking, Chris?
I don't know. Because I just decided to draw a white pencil. Get off my bad voice in my head. Get used to a lot of stupid commentary from me. So this is it. This is what we're going to be doing. I hope it shows up on the screen that no one wants to hear my podcast. But this is what I do. I sit in the studio and I draw day and night. And these days I grow facial hair. So that's always fun. One of the things that I do is that when I plot together a page, I'll map out some source images that I loosely follow. Never really. This image right here of these two ladies that are, at a party, passed out, from the '60s, has become actually two completely different ladies. It's just the idea, and he's mapping out pages for me, and in that way, I can use that as ideas when I'm putting together a page, as I'm putting together a story, and go from there. So that's one of the things that I've been approaching, and then of course I reference against previous image that I have drawn of the same two ladies, and try to make sure that I have that consistency of what they're wearing. And so I hope you can make that out in blue. I'm working on lighting in the old studio here. Move that guy. Is that better? Yes. And so I try to keep that consistency as I bring it over into another panel. And it's just a short one-page little anecdotal story. And then it moves on into the next instance, and the next instance, and the next instance of some creepy things that make up the story of this thing that Quiet Madness made for the SCP. So that's what I'm putting together. And you're welcome to hang out and watch and see what I'm doing and why I might be doing it. But one of the things I like to do when I'm exploring these images and these drawings is play with approaches and play with perspectives. So while I've got this drawn in the white, the blue pencil on white paper, and so when I'll scan that into the computer, and I'll transition it into a black, or maybe I won't, and I'll leave it as a blue. But what I can do then is sit down and maybe it's too intense now. Is that better? Jeez, I'm working on it. So, but I can scan it and transition a color to whatever I want it to be, so that now I can put color in behind it. I can make it a translucent image so that only the line part of the image sticks out, and the rest of it becomes see-through. And so I can put coloring in behind it and over top of it and do whatever I want to it. But one of the things that I also like doing, and this isn't as easy to do that with, but it sets a whole different tone, is that I'll take a white pencil on a dark surface and I will draw in reverse. So I will draw the light as opposed to, drawing the shadow or drawing the line art. And that's, fun to me, because it sort of lets me look at it in a different way. And when you do that, it gives you a completely different image. Now it's a completely different tone, so that the same thing here and here, this becomes the solid value, the white becomes the transitional value. Now when I would scan this in, I would scan it in as a flat image, right? So that flat image, then I can't take out, I can't manipulate the colors with. There'd be no point. I mean, it's already here. So this is just a sort of set image, but what it does is it lets me play with mixed, and I'm going to follow loosely the drawing that I already have, and not stick right to it, because
boring.
Why not just trace my own art? But now I can do things like I can lay in this soft white value with the pencil, but I can also come in with a white ink or paint and put in a heavier amount of it. And what that allows me is to push and pull with the values and the intensity of the whites that way. So you can have some cool effects like shimmering through the trees or things like that, or it just gives a little more guts to the contrast. And I mean, we can do the same thing from the other vantage point there, and we can do the same thing when we're coloring the other image. But I think that by having two aspects of the same image, there's the expectation looking at this one, but then I'm trying to make, hence the creepy Berlioz. He's the guy whose music was inspired the soundtrack for The Shining. And we got to see that at London Symphonia a couple years back before all the crazy ass lockdowns. I said the bad word. And we got to see that performed at London Symphonia, and it was really beautiful. But it's helping to get you in that headspace, that zone, you know, a piece of inspirato for while you're working on a piece that's intended to be creepy. So, bear with me, cats and kittens. And I'm a weirdo. So, as I'm talking to you here, yeah, I want to come off as a weirdo. But I'm too old to be cool. So I'm just going to plug away. So, I'm just sort of going with the shapes here that make up the space of the tree as I laid it out in the other format. And you know, that allows me to get the shape in. It's in a slightly different, I think mine's a little bit bigger in that the original image was, but there's probably a faster way to do this. But I like coloring. So, alright. So I don't know. This is the sort of thing you're in store for, folks. All my millions of followers. Maybe I'll get some puppets. Like the Friendly Giant. Whoa. So that's the idea. Yeah, it's not perfect, it's just what it is. But I want to play with different ideas with this way. So the idea is to put emphasis on the school. The school is a creepy environment, and so that's where I'm going here. Now, I don't know if my approach is consistent with, you know, the way other people are coming at the material for this anthology book, but I know that this is how I work and I have fun. And if you're not having fun what you're doing, I take it from me, you really got to find something else to do. But I'm trying to work faster, and I'm trying to work smarter, and I'm working on multiple things simultaneously. And the reason for that is because trying to really get out there and get out in the world and get some things happening. And I'm doing this full time now, so at this point, you know, I think that when you're working for other people, you really don't have the luxury, the affordance. When you're illustrating for others, you really don't have the affordance of being picky and choosy about what it is. But you gotta make the most of whatever it is. So that's what I'm trying. You know what I mean? So there we go. We got the idea of the tree in here, but the emphasis is less the tree and more the school. So for what I'm putting down right now, and yeah, I just want to add in a couple of little approaches to make to creep things up, basically. So this is the new setup for me, is putting the things the way that they are, so that you can see. I don't know if that's improving anything or not. The light on the image. If it's too bright, if it's not bright enough now, that feels better to me. Anyhow, what the hell was I talking about? This is the way I'm approaching things now. I got a camera set up over the top of the drawing tablet, or the drawing surface that I've got on my lap here, and I can also put my keyboard here and my mouse here, and my digital drawing tablet for working directly on the computer, and I'll do some videos of that, and this is how I'm going to do things now. So I just thought I'd do this for a minute and have some fun, invite you along, and with some nice creepy music. We're back to the world now, folks. The holidays are over. My cat was just up here, so I got a cat hair there. Stupid kitties. My cats try to jump on my desk all the time, so they're rather confused with the tablet that I'm drawing things from right now. So this is really just abstract marks, and you know, that works to me. To use those abstract shapes and those abstract marks to define some space. It's fun. It does the trick. But no more of the posting everything on Instagram. Now I'm doing everything here, and we'll be posting all of the finished results on our Patreon page. You're welcome to check both out. Do I have both written down? Of course I don't. But that's where things will be able to be found. So again, I'm changing things with the skulls out. Changing things with the images here. Having some fun. But hopefully the end result here will be what's important, and that is creepy tree, creepy school, nighttime scene. And that's because you can only get so much from just coloring a drawn image with digital colors. But you get a different sense of it when you're doing it manually. Alright, now I'm going to have to try to figure out how I can set it up so that I can talk to people while I'm working. I'll figure that out yet. We will get there, and we'll figure out those technologies. But as yet, we are not there. Oh, yep. So when you're drawing in reverse, the secret magic is to leave out the spaces for your black lines, right? That's you gotta sort of keep all track of all that in your head as you're putting in these marks, and you're trying to keep things straight or whatnot in the first place. So it's a different approach for sure. You do your best, you know. What else can you do, really? Gesundheit. Okay. Fine. Next piece. I like brioche, but I don't know if that's very exciting for the people at home. You know, hundreds and thousands of people turned in right now that don't know that I'm doing this because I didn't make an announcement before I started doing it. We'll figure that stuff out. And if not, you know, what? So it's the same school, it's just with, you know, I've done my best to make everything square. But it's clearly the perspective is off, and things are warped, and things are off, and things, you know, things aren't going to be laid in correctly, and the school is different, and maybe that adds to it, you know. Maybe that's part of the enhancing idea, is to play with that, is to change it up. Something's wrong with the school, Billy. You know, whatever. I like the idea of it moving and looming around a little bit. It's just a fun notion to play with that. But, you know, we're going to push it even further here. I want the school to seem not right. So we've got our standard drawing here, and then we've got our very different approach to it. There we go. Alright, so we can even play in some little bits in here, throw in a little bit of that. Just a differentiating line from where the heavier shadow area is in the original. Why not? Play, try. All right. Okay, so what I've got next, a couple things that we can try. We have some different pens here, and we can make some different paint marks in here. And I've got some, like a fun little brush pen here, and you know, we can put in some enhancements, you know, into the night sky and creep that up a little bit. Push those values. Something I try. end of the day, it's about having fun. But this is where we start chopping into the tree. And we've already got that white in there with the pencil. So these are most unnatural marks at this point. But that's what kind of makes them fun. Alright. Yeah, see? So I'll do a little more of that. Play with this, and we'll put it up on one of our other little... Stick it up on Patreon or something. Everybody will see. Anyway, this is fun now. But that's the gist of it. So, you know, I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you're liking what we're doing. You can already see the intensity that's popping out around the tree and the contrast now, and that this school approach is very different than that school approach. I'm not going to bore you by watching you making you watch me fill in all the whites, but this is some of the fun stuff we're going to do on here. So I hope you stick around and tune in and come and enjoy stuff like this. Okie doke. I think that's that for today. Bye for now.